This is leaps and bounds away from DIY acapellas from a few years ago.
Ragamuffin keep on rising to the top. Ragamuffin keep striving in every way. International, what they call we international. When me ride palm with them in the move, but the rhythm when I come down crucial. And me ride palm with them and then we sit down steady. Body me on the place where they want Jamalski.
Producers, RX11 from iZotope just dropped, and there are a ton of new and updated features, but in this video, I'm just gonna focus on the one that music producers really wanna know about, and that is the update to Music Rebalance. This allows you to rip acapellas or bass or drums and other instruments into separate channels, so stems from a full mix, if you didn't already know. In this video, I'm going to show you not only how powerful RX11 is, but compare it directly to RX10, which also had this module. I think the modules in the standard and advanced versions of RX, I'm going to leave links to full details and everything in the video description. But that being said, let's go ahead and jump in to the Music Rebalance module in RX11. All right, so let's jump in. I've got RX10 on the left and RX11 on the right. I'm going to go ahead and just load up the same track. Some of you may recognize this track from the live streams that we do. This is the intro music I play. And crucially, it's got an acapella in it.
International, what they call we international. When me ride palm with them in the move, but the rhythm when I come down crucial. And me ride palm with them.
In this video, as I've already said, we're going to be focusing on Music Rebalance to extract acapellas, but of course, it can actually extract the vocals, the bass, the percussion, and everything else onto separate channels, and it would actually do that automatically for you. Of course, you can just do the vocal if you want, but let's just go ahead and rip all four. This is RX10 module for Music Rebalance. It looks pretty similar to 11. I will say I like that there's different colors. This one just looks visually more appealing. You'll also notice that the sensitivity is now on a per channel, as opposed to separation is what it was called in RX10, which is just applied globally. What I've done is just set that to 50, and these are on 50 by default. Quality I've gone to best because that's what we're after here. And what I'm gonna do is just hit separate, or it's now called stem split on RX11. It does the same exact thing. It's going to take a minute, and I will let you know how long they take after it goes through the process. All right, boom. Now, if you actually look down here in the bottom left, it will tell you how long it took. So Music Rebalance in RX10 actually took 1 minute and 33, while Music Rebalance in this one took 2 minutes and 53. So almost double the time, actually. But let's see what the differences are. So I'm going to click over to vocal. This is kind of the highlight, and you can see before we even listen the difference here. Look how clean this area is compared to this. You can also see that there's more information in the higher frequency range, but let's get into that in a second. Let's just go ahead and play from right about here to right about here on both. So this is RX10. Like all that's not vocal. Yeah, none of that's vocal.
Ragamuffin keep on rising to the top. Ragamuffin keep striving in every way. International, what they call we international. When me ride palm with them in the move, but the rhythm when I come down crucial. And me ride palm with them and then we sit down steady. Body me on the place where they want Jamalski.
There you go. Now let's listen to RX11 for that same part of the track. And I can actually skip this because it hasn't identified anything here, which wasn't in fact vocal. So let's just go up to the vocal part.
Ragamuffin keep on rising to the top. Ragamuffin keep striving in every way. International, what they call we international. When me ride palm with them in the move, but the rhythm when I come down crucial. And me ride palm with them and then we sit down steady. Body me on the place where they want Jamalski.
This is leaps and bounds away from DIY acapellas from a few years ago. I mentioned that there's more upper frequency content. There's also more lower frequency content. You can actually see over here that that's all just lopped off pretty much. It gets super kind of just janky up here at the top, and you can just hear that it sounds better. I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit here. This is one thing that was super impressive to me, was this particular part right here. If I come over And now this is that part. Not only has it got rid of the clear percussion, but it's also included the grain delay that I threw on that vocal where it drops down in pitch. It also picked up the reverb as well in the chunky bit of the vocal here that I had added. But I mean, it does pick up the bass part. I'm going to actually come back to the beginning right here. So it actually gets rid of the bass in RX10, but I would argue I'd rather have that in to have a fuller acapella for the rest of it. It also kind of struggles over here near the end. Like right there, I'm not quite sure why. But either way, I mean, you can literally hear the difference. It's just so good. The fact that the reverb is in there intact, so clean as well. So that's pretty much the same all the way through on the acapella. I think we can all agree, a huge improvement. Let's jump over to the percussion. Again, if you look in here in the beginning, let's zoom in. Not looking too great. If I look over here, I mean, that is kind of percussive, right? I mean, that's pretty much just the drums, although that plucky sound is a little percussive. I mean, night and day there. Night and day. I mean, it just sounds cleaner. Like you could easily use these drums for something else. Let's move over to the bass. Okay. Even on the bass, like look at the bass right here, right? If we zoom in again. Look at how much information is lost right there. And if you look over here, how much information is there. And it's just going to translate to what it sounds like, you know? I mean, that's a sample you can use. I mean, honestly, you could maybe use that, but you definitely wouldn't want to. Oh my gosh. Oh, geez. Yeah, so obviously clear winner there. And then let's just jump over to the other instruments. Again, double click to kind of zoom out here. You can just tell that there's a lot more reserved here. It's a higher fidelity. That's what that spectrogram is telling us. Ooh. I mean, you wouldn't want to use that. Plain simple, you wouldn't want to. That's a usable sample. That's 100% usable. It's night and day. I mean, they've really smashed it out of the park here. All right, everybody. There you go. That's the music rebalance module in a nutshell. It is really powerful, a noticeable, very noticeable improvement from RX10. And I hope to be covering a lot more of the new and updated features in RX11. But in the meantime, go ahead and click the link in the video description to find out all that information while you're waiting for me to make another video. Anyway, Joshua Casper, Plugin Boutique. See you in the next one.